Alrighty. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to each and every person who is tuning in to this podcast episode right now. Whew, let me collect myself, catch my breath. I've been running around all day, and I'm tired. Okay, I am tired. But everything is done. So, not everything. There's still a couple of things I need to do, but most of it is done. So I'm happy. Happy Friday. Happy Scorpio season as well. I know we got a couple people who've had birthdays this week and are having upcoming birthdays as well. Happy birthday to you, my babies. I hope you guys have the best day. We're moving from October Scorpios to November Scorpios, baby. So you know that the vibe is beginning now. Okay, no shade, of course, to the October Scorpios. You know you guys are so real and you guys are the ones, right? But let us have our time, okay? As a fellow November Scorpio, let us have our time. Happy birthday regardless. I hope each and every one of you had an amazing week. I know from the title you guys are gonna hate me, but we need to talk about it, okay? Because I cannot actually do this. I really can't. Before we get into that though, why don't you do your homegirl a favor and click that follow or subscribe button on whatever app or website you're using to listen to this podcast episode right now. And of course, smash that notification bell to be notified whenever we drop another episode, okay? I know I've been promising you guys an episode for Introvert Chronicles for weeks now, and believe me when I say it is being really difficult to even record anything right now, but I'll definitely try. So maybe start of November we'll start having more episodes for there, and then we'll take our break and start again properly in January. But I'm really disappointed that I haven't been able to have the coordination to record for that, but I'll do better in the next year. I promise you guys, because we got some tea. Before I get into obviously the episode analysis of the whole show and everything, I just wanted there's a song that's been playing in my head for like a couple weeks now, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's gonna touch somebody's soul, I don't know, but it's that song, I've been so many places in my life and time. I can't sing, so please, but it's that one. It's like, I've done a lot of songs, and I made some bad rhymes. I don't know if that's significant to anybody, but if it is, let me know, and we can chop it up and sing badly or beautifully together. It's been in my heart for weeks now, and it's like, it's consistently playing in my head, like the whole piano tune, the orchestral. It's been in my head. So like, if that is significant to anybody, please let us know. Send us a message. Tell me about it. But oh my goodness gracious me. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make this episode honestly without like being angry or bursting into tears. But anyway, let's get into it. Obviously, you can tell from the title of the episode, we're going to be talking about another documentary. Okay, I do have this interesting show, though, that I think you guys really, really need to watch. I had not watched it at all. I'd only seen, like, the trailer of it because of the Louvre heist. And it's called Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Basically, that's the 2025 movie. I'd only seen Now You See Me. I'm going to watch Now You See Me 2 today. And then, obviously, when Now You See Me, Now You Don't comes out in theaters, I'm going to be there, and we go talk about that one. But for today, I want to talk about The Perfect Neighbor. Yes, I know, okay? I know, but we have to talk about it. I feel like it is culturally relevant to talk about this show, okay? So, it is a documentary that came out this year, in October, actually. I believe it is... I don't want to lie. We'll get into that a bit later. I'm not seeing it right now. But it is 1 hour and 37 minutes long. It has a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb. A seemingly minor neighborhood dispute in Florida escalates into deadly violence. Police body cam footage and investigative interviews expose the consequences of Florida's Stand Your Ground laws. In a nutshell, tragic, intense, and brooding. Of course, you can find it on good old Netflix. That's why I keep saying, y'all, like, there's certain things that I keep talking about when it comes to people, like to these streaming platforms. So documentaries, definitely 100% Netflix. Comedies, I'm going to say Hulu, Disney Plus, they have the best comedies. And maybe even reality TV. I don't know, but I'm going to go out on a stretch and say that. Thrillers like crime, mystery, the normal thrillers, HBO, 100% HBO. HBO has some dramas as well. But yeah, dramas, thrillers, 100% HBO. And then Apple TV, everything else. Oh my word, Apple TV has some great shows. Y'all really sleep on Apple TV. And we are going to try and fix that as a community, okay? So be sure to stay tuned to what we've got going on this podcast. And of course, tell your friends about it, okay? If you want to put your friends on ball, if you want to tell your friends ball, to teach them ball, to be like, hey, yo, pattern up, send them the link to this podcast and we will get them on ball. But yeah, let's talk about The Perfect Neighbor. So, here we go. So The Perfect Neighbor is a 2025 American documentary film directed and produced by Geeta Gandbir. Okay, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but please go look her up. It follows the killing of Ajika Owens, told through police body cam footage exploring the neighbors' disputes that led to the brutal killing. It came out on October the 17th. Okay. Obviously distributed by Netflix. Release dates is January 2024 and October 10th in 2025. I don't know what that means, but I only saw it in October. I actually saw it last week, so I don't know what they mean when they say it came out in January. Maybe it was announced. Maybe it was announced in January, and then it was actually produced in October. Okay, or rather, produced throughout the year and then released in October. That would make sense. But anyway, yeah. Running time is 97 minutes. The country of origin is the United States of America, and the language is English, although it can obviously be translated into different languages as it has. The film had its world premiere at the 2025 Sundance Film Festival on January the 24th, where it won the Directing Award. It had a limited theatrical release in the US on October 10th, prior to streaming globally on Netflix on October the 17th. It received widespread acclaim for its production, direction, and editing. Okay? Fantastic documentary, I swear. On June the 2nd in 2023 in Ocala, Florida, Ajika A.J. Chartrill Owens was shot and killed by Suzanne Lawrence. Okay? Lawrence. I don't know how to say this name, but yeah, Susan, sorry. Not Suzanne, Susan. The film explores disputes leading up to the shooting by using body cam footage. It includes footage from a selection of multiple times that deputies from the Marion County Sheriff's Office responded to calls from Susan in 2022 and 2023. A call from an auto repair operator in March of 2023 after Susan repeatedly rammed her pickup truck into the gate at his workplace. A visit by Susan to report her complaints in person at the sheriff's office in May of 2023, and the multiple 911 calls, including from Susan when she shot Owens on June the 2nd of 2023, and Susan being questioned by sheriff's deputies and detectives at the station. So basically, this is all, there's nobody telling any story. There's nobody who's got any interviews. This is all police cam footage. And remember, like I've been saying, any documentary that has been released from, I think, after COVID to now, you haven't really been getting like people that knew the victim or people that did this or people that do that. It's usually footage of the actual victim. I feel like they're going in the direction of they want to have people be actual people rather than just victims or statistics, because that makes it more personal. I don't know if you guys have heard me say this before, but I think the direction, like directorially, that they're going in, I don't know if that's a word, but how can I put this? Yeah, the production direction that these people are going in, that Netflix is genuinely going in, I think is spectacular. It's a beautiful move. From all of the recent documentaries that I've watched, it's been amazing because you get up close and personal with the pain and the suffering that certain people had to go through before they died. So with Lacey Peterson, it was exactly like that. With The Perfect Marriage, we talked about that quite recently. It was like that as well. The Long Island Girls, very much like that as well, and so on and so forth. So I think this documentary specifically, it got me because, yeah, I don't even know how to describe it without spoiling it. Obviously, we know that somebody has died, a mother has died, a black woman has died, was shot by her white neighbor. So it's very much, you already tell, like, it's obviously gonna cause a lot of unrest in terms of being racially charged, but you get to actually see Susan as the perfect example of what people normally call white privilege. Now, for me, I realized from that documentary that I've probably been very sheltered, like, in my life. Like, I've never really experienced blatant signs like that from someone to tell, like, this person is very much privileged, like they don't want to do this and to do that and to do this. And in a way, I'm sort of grateful for it, because I don't know how I'd be able to like do that. I know it's easy to say, like, yeah, I definitely smack somebody, it would be crazy, da 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 da, but I probably would allow this person's view of me or their treatment of me to influence my self-worth as not only a person, but as a woman and as a black woman. So I think it's quite interesting to see, like, it was quite important, rather, for me to see this example at this age, to be like, wow, so this is really what the world is like. Like, living in Africa, there is racism. It's very subtle. It's not blatant like it is in America. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm yapping, but it took it to a different level for me. I really bawled my eyes out. This entire documentary, I went from not knowing what was happening, because I never saw the coverage of the AJ murder on the news or anything. I think maybe I was just like focused on other things, I don't know, but I never really saw it. So I went into it and I downloaded, I thought it was a movie actually, because I'm like, oh, this looks nice. And then I downloaded it. I was confused because I'm like, okay, what's happening here? This seems like in-person documentary, police footage, whatever. So I just thought, okay, let me just keep watching it. And then I went from curiosity to obviously sadness, and then immediately went to anger, whilst also feeling an immense sense of justice at the end. So it was like, wow, okay, Netflix, I see you, Netflix. You tried it though. You tried it, but you got me. I won't even lie. You actually did get me, especially with how I was feeling last week. I was like, nah, you actually got me, Netflix. Like, good on you for that one. But yeah, so sheriff's office footage from the next few days, such as Susan retrieving items from her house and from further interviews at the sheriff's office, is also included, right? So let me paint a picture for you all, in case you're wondering. If you haven't seen it and you're like, what is she even talking about? Let's paint a picture for you, right? So basically, we've got this nice little town in Florida. It's basically a bunch of apartments, houses, they're rentals, there's other people that own them. It's like a nice little community. There's a lot of children, so obviously there's a lot of noise. It's very green, it's very beautiful, very scenic, very, la-di-da, right? It's actually very beautiful. It's a very beautiful town. Like, at least from what I saw, it was really nice. And this woman moves in from across the street from AJ and her family, right? She has, I believe it's 4 kids. Yeah, she's a single mom who has 4 kids, and 3 boys and a girl. So it's a boy, girl, boy, right? And this woman moves in across the street from her, and her name is Susan Lawrence, right? Now, Susan is a bit up there in age, and she's obviously white. She lives alone, doesn't seem to have much family. At least that's what is said in the documentary. But yeah, she just had her cats, like, she was just living her life. Unfortunately though, the children would come in from across the neighborhood. They would come in, they'd be screaming, as kids do, like playing, making a fuss. Like it was happy time. There's some people that will hear children's laughter and be like, "Oh, this is really nice." Like they kind of see happiness in the world. And there's other people who are like, "Okay, this is a bit too much," right? So Susan was on the too much scale. Anytime these kids would be playing outside, she'd call the police. She'd make up stories about how they were screaming too much and playing on the grass and doing this and doing that, whatever. Very, very senile. I think probably in that documentary, you see her call the police about like 20 or northwards of 20 times, actually, about these kids that were playing in the street. And they weren't even anywhere near her house. Like the first couple times, yes, they were by her house, but they didn't know her. They were trying to get to know her. They're trying to bring her out, her to play with them, because that's how the other neighbors were. But then again, Susan didn't have kids, so she was like, I don't see the relevance of me even making myself known to these people, because they're just pissing me off, right? Anyway, the police would come and say, hey, so let's not play by her house. Let's just leave her alone. You can play on the other side of the house where there's another old man who says, hey, my field, you guys can play. Like, you guys can play soccer. You can do whatever. It's nice to hear you guys playing and laughing. It's very cute, right? Anyway, a couple days later, Susan calls the police again. And she's like, these kids are screaming. These bloody kids are screaming. And then she goes, then they ask the parents, obviously, what's happening. And the parents are like, listen, the kids were in the lot that the old man said they could use. So whether they were being loud there, I'm not sure. It's actually really important for the kids to actually be loud so that we know that they're there. If they weren't loud, it could be a thing of, are they missing? What happened to them? And then it would be another problem altogether. So the kids being loud, it shows that they're actually around, they're having fun, that they're safe, essentially. So we prefer them being loud, but if Susan has a problem with it, then we'll keep them in our lot. So then they go to the back of AJ's house, right? And they're playing there. Susan calls the police again. Now, before she calls the police, she takes it up on herself to go to the kids and shout at the kids herself. Now, AJ, being a protective mother and just community aunt, essentially, she goes and she's like, I'm sorry, can you not address the kids? If you have a problem, come and address me, or keep calling the cops as you've been doing. Don't go up to my kids and start shouting at them. That's not the one, right? Which is fair. And she goes, you know what, it's fine, it's whatever, blah, right? They start having a little bit of a back and forth, a tiff, right? Okay, cool. Next time, same thing. Now we're getting to throwing objects. She's throwing stuff at the kids. The kids go, they tell their older siblings. The older siblings went get the parents. It's now a thing. And then obviously Susan calls the police. She says she feels unsafe. It's like a whole thing, right? Right, fine. Next time again, same thing happens, and again, and again, and again, until we get to a point where Susan is actually getting a visit from the police without having needed to call them, because there is an incident where her car, I think she was closed in to a certain park or like a street or something, and she wasn't able to get out. So she starts ramming the gate a couple times, and the guy was like, a lot of people have been closed in, because everybody knows that the gates close at a certain time. But everybody in the neighborhood has my number to be able to call me and be like, hey, I've been closed in. Do you think you come and open for me? And I'll be like, yeah, sure, because I'm not going to leave you outside of the compound at night. Who knows what's going to happen to you? And Susan made the excuse of being like, I was raped and I did this and I did that. It was a whole thing. Now, I'm not saying that that's not true, but it's very convenient, let's say, to use that excuse whilst you are in a place where you're now being questioned by the police for doing something like taking property and destroying someone else's property, right? It's very, very convenient, especially considering that there are multiple deputies that have said to their own department, hey, if this woman calls, she's a bit much, so just kind of take everything that she says with a grain of salt and let the kids play. So when they got a call and they heard Susan's name, it was like, oh, so Susan can do wrong as well, right? And then all of this is how can I put this? Okay, let's describe it in a music type of way, right? So you have the little keys that are playing, right? Those are the little calls that Susan has. There's little keys. They're separately, they're not very significant, right? They're very, you kind of listen to them, but separately they're not very significant. But when you put them in succession now, it's like it makes a little bit of a tune, and you're like, ooh, okay, this is interesting. And then we now get to the part of like the big finish with the crescendo, right? Now it's like a whole thing. The kids are at home, like they're chilling, they're playing until like the PMs, right? They're really going at it. They're like, you know what, school's out, we're gonna enjoy. Susan comes out, she throws roller skates at one of the kids, at AJ's kids specifically, because I think she's been going back and forth with AJ at this point. Like, she's basically the only mother that she's been going back and forth with. So yeah, she throws roller skates at AJ's second son, and she takes his iPad, and then obviously he tries to get it back, and she's like, no, go get your mom. Go get your mom. Like, it's fine. You can go get your mother. Like, she'll come and get it, right? So the second son goes and tells the first son, his older brother, he says, this woman, Susan, took my tablet and she threw roller skates at us. Now, the son obviously is like, nah, that actually can't happen. I'm gonna go get mom, right? So he goes to get mom, obviously hearing that her son is being bullied once again by Susan, sends her into a frenzy, right? And this is AJ that I'm speaking about. So she goes over there, she storms over there, she does that fast power mom walk. You know that walk that your mom does when, like, you told her somebody's been messing with you. She does that walk. As she goes and she bangs on the door, she's like, give me back my child's tablet. You know, that's all she wanted. She just wanted the tablet. She didn't want anything else. She didn't want to beat her up. She didn't want to kill her. Nothing. She just, give me back my child's tablet. How dare you? How dare you take my child's tablet? I bought this. My child deserves this for school. I don't know what you think you're doing. Give me my child's tablet, right? And according to Susan, she says that she felt threatened by Ajika, and she kept knocking, like, for a long, like, not a long time, probably 2 to 3 minutes. She was just knocking, and she calls the police in this time, and she says, there's somebody who's knocking on my door aggressively. I think she's gonna come and kill me, right? And then she says probably like 10 to 15 minutes pass, and she doesn't even understand what's happening. She's running on adrenaline, and she just shoots through the door, right? Mind you, she doesn't know who else is out there. She just knows that Ajika is banging on the door. She doesn't know that there's kids. She doesn't know if anyone else is out there. She just shoots through her door, basically, right? Okay, cool. Then silence. And then she calls the police again, and she says, I think I just shot the person who's outside my home. And so obviously it becomes a whole thing. The kids are screaming. They're like, please call 911. Like, somebody just shot my mom. Please. So this is where oh my gosh, I'm sorry. This is where it starts getting emotional, because it's like, now these kids have just seen their mom get shot, right? Okay, cool. So the community, obviously having known AJ and known her kids, they're like, okay, no, it's fine. We'll call the police. You guys just come in here. We'll take your mom, like, away from the house, and we'll kind of just, like, wait for the police to get here. You guys are fine. You can have dinner. You can do whatever you need to do. Basically, still in the house. You know, your mom will be fine. It's okay, right? And the police come, the fire department comes, or ambulance comes, everybody comes, and they start doing CPR. And she's not waking up. She's not waking up at all. She's not even responsive, like, at all. Like, she's not responsive, like, at all. So they put her into the ambulance, and they go to the hospital, and the neighbors are like, listen, your mom's fine. Like, she's gonna come back. She's strong. Your mom is fine. It's not a problem, right? And then in that same time, the police, the detectives on the scene called the children's father, because they all had one dad. And in that scene, that's where we find out that AJ, in fact, didn't make it. She was, I don't know if it's dead on arrival, but they just said that she didn't make it. So he kind of, like, recoils, and he breaks down in tears. You know, even though they weren't together, I can assume that hearing that the mother of your 4 kids is no longer around, it really does get to you, because, wow, this was my partner in life at once. So how is it that the mother of my children is gone? And I think he also recoiled for his kids as well. So that was really heartbreaking but also beautiful to see in a twisted way. I don't know how to explain it, but it was like he felt for the kids and he felt for her as well. So yeah, he immediately wanted to tell the children. He was like, just bring the kids here. So they went to go get the kids. And, he's like, yo, something really terrible is happening. Something really terrible has happened. She's not coming home. Mom is gone. And, that one got me. These kids they're screaming, they're hollering, they're wailing essentially, and it's a heartbroken wail. Like, I was like, oh my word, I couldn't stop myself from crying. Like, even now thinking about it, I'm just like, oh my word, oh my goodness gracious me, those poor little babies, and their entire life just like smashed in one instant. And they blamed themselves, because it's like, okay, if we hadn't even been around her, then maybe she wouldn't have taken my tablet, maybe she wouldn't have thrown the roller skates, maybe she wouldn't have do this. The older son tried to do CPR on his mom, and it's like, I failed. Like, they're going into life thinking that their mom died because of them. And it was like, it was so sad. Oh my word, it was so sad. But and we move on, and we get a snapshot of Susan. She's in the car and she's in cuffs, and she kind of just like, she doesn't understand. The neighbors are going, they're like, why did you shoot her? They're very angry. They don't know yet that AJ is dead. So then the kids obviously go and they tell their friends, and their friends tell their parents, and the police tell the parents, and it's like a whole thing. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then we kind of just go to like the protests. Now we have people marching outside the union buildings. They're marching outside like the police department, the courts. Like, we want this woman arrested. And there was a bit of racial profiling, I would assume, because she was allowed to get out on bail. And some of the people protesting were like, literally, we want her in jail right now, because if it was us, rightfully so, if it was us, you would have treated us like we were criminals. Like, of course we killed somebody, but we wouldn't be allowed to even get out on bail at all. We wouldn't be allowed bail, because you would have automatically said we were dangerous criminals. So why does this lady get out on bail? Why, with police escort, the police are protecting her. It's a whole thing. So yeah, it's quite interesting how the police department handled that whole her being in jail thing. Anyway, she gets questioned. She says, I don't know, I don't do this, I don't do that. She even wrote a little apology to the kids, and she included but your mom was coming at me, which is like really insensitive to do, because these children have just lost their mother, and you're the one that took their mother's life. So why would you put the blame on their mother? It doesn't make any sense. None of this makes sense, to be honest. But yeah, I'm just gonna go, because I can't keep, like, I'm just gonna go on with the story, because thinking about it is gonna make me angry again. Anyway, we get to the end of, the middle. Okay, let's say like a couple minutes before the end of the documentary series, there's a scene where she's getting interrogated, and they're telling her like, hey, so we're gonna process you to be able to take you to jail. And for a good 5 minutes, this woman says, no, I'm not going to jail. And the thing that pissed me off the most was that, one, she said, no, I'm not going to jail. Two, they let her do this. Like, they actually gave this woman the time to be like, you're going to jail. Like, they were so soft with her. That angered me so much, because if it was a black man, he would have been on the floor with their knee on his neck if he's ever said no. If it was a black woman, she would have been on the floor as well. So, like, why is it that this woman gets to be treated fairly after she premeditated a killing of a mother? In any context, if you say that in any context, this person had, it was premeditated. It was pre-planned. She did this. She wanted to do this. Because what do you mean you didn't know that you got your gun? Mind you, I forgot to add this. The time between her calling to say this woman is at my door to her calling to say I killed this woman, it was 2 minutes. So she was lying when she said it was probably 10 to 15 minutes that AJ was knocking on the door. That was a lie. She didn't give the police any time to get there at all. She shot her in cold blood. Not at close range, which is why she got manslaughter. But it was premeditated. She didn't even get murder, or first, or second, or third. She got manslaughter. I was so mad. I was like, there's no way they gave her manslaughter. There's no way. Because that's a reduced charge and a chance of bail. Or, what is it? Appeal. What is it? 25 years? Probation, sorry. Yes. So it's probation. She got probation. She has the chance to get probation after killing somebody's mother blatantly. It made me so mad. Oh my word. It made me so mad. Like, my Friday was ruined. I swear, my Friday was ruined. I was like, there's no way. There is no way. I think the only redeeming quality about that entire documentary was the end when she was walked into court and she got 25 years. I was like, yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Judge. Okay, thank you so much for seeing that this was blatant. 25 years for manslaughter, too. The only thing... I mean, you know what? I say redeeming quality, but it was a fantastic documentary. I just think the redeeming quality about the story, because the story really angered me. It triggered me to the point where I was talking about it the entire week. So it really, really triggered me. But yeah, it triggered. Oh my word. When I tell y'all that it triggered me, y'all don't want to understand. Y'all do not want to understand that this story triggered me. But, yeah, I think if you're in need of a documentary that commands discussion, it commands your attention, it commands everything within you, if you want to see anything, if you want to see if you can feel anything, if you want to see what being anybody looks like, if you want to see what white privilege essentially looks like. I don't want to do that on the show, but essentially that's what it is. Watch that documentary. It's fantastic. I would have said, because it made me so angry, I would say an 8. But in terms of cinematography, in terms of production, in terms of pacing, in terms of the curiosity build up, everything was very much a 10. It just made me very, very emotional and very angry. So I can't give it a 10, because that's giving a 10 to a documentary about somebody being killed. So I was like, I'm going to say 7. I'm going to say an 8. I would say an 8 is good. 7 seems a bit harsh, but I would say an 8. An 8 is pretty good, I would say, for that documentary. But yeah, I got through this without crying. I'm so happy with myself. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of What's That Show Called? We're a podcast dedicated to giving the young women and men, the couch potatoes of the world, a chance to express themselves without being judged. If you feel like you want to, give back to the cause, that you want to get involved, that you want to help us out, then please, once again, make sure to click that follow or subscribe button on whatever app or website you're using to listen to this podcast episode today. And of course, smash that that notification bell to be notified whenever we drop an episode. From me, Custard Baby, aka your girl Lee, it has been a fantastic Friday. Oh, I almost said Wednesday. Fantastic Friday. Happy birthday to all my Scorpio babies. Love you. Bye.